This video is sponsored by Nintendo of Canada. For more information on Splatoon 2, visit splatoon.nintendo.com. You play as a kid who can change into a squid, and did you cause that mess? Nah, your whole team did. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're giving you our top 10 things you need to know about Splatoon 2. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this video, we're going to be giving you our impressions of Splatoon 2 based on what we've experienced. Number 10, a shinier coat of paint. When the first Splatoon launched back in 2015, it was a fresh and innovative experience, but it wasn't without its problems, notably a shortage of launch content and a few balancing issues with some of the weapons. Splatoon 2 gets off to a much better start this time around by refining the experience for something that feels a little bit more polished. At no point during our play sessions did any weapon feel really overpowered, nor does the launch content feel too lacking either. Some issues still remain, like being unable to change your loadout without leaving the lobby, and the 2-map restriction is unfortunately still there, though it's now on a 2-hour rotation. But those are all still minor issues in the grand scheme of things. Number 9, paint the floor to win. If you're not familiar with Splatoon, the goal of the game is to cover as much of the map in your team's colored ink as possible. Of the 8 maps that are available at launch, 6 of them are brand new, and they feel just as well designed as the last batch. Each map has various vantage points, wide areas, and verticality to offer you different styles of play. Plus, the characters, known as Inklings, can transform into squids and can swim through their team's ink to traverse the map much faster and climb up walls. All of this ends up resulting in a third-person shooter that's unlike any other game on the market, really. Number 8, the creative, messy weapons. The unique variety of weapons that were all in the first game make a comeback in the sequel, with some even offering new variations to try out. The Splatter Shot remains an ideal all-round option. The Slosher, which was a late addition in the first game, does wonders from high ground. Splat Rollers now have a longer range for throwing ink while jumping, and Chargers are, well, still kind of hard to master. Of course, the biggest new addition to the arsenal is the Splat Dualies. This dual-wielding weapon has 2 fire modes that the player activates by dodge rolling. It's a great addition and will likely be a favorite to a lot of pro players. Number 7, all new special weapons. Unlike the main arsenal of mostly returning weapons, the special weapon choices are nearly all brand new. This is a very welcome change, as a lot of specials in the first game were way too overpowered and gave your opponents very little chance of escaping them. Yeah, we're looking at you, Kraken. These newest specials certainly can have strong effects on the battlefield, but they're at nowhere near the overwhelming level of the first batch. For example, the Inkjet makes your Inklings hover and shoot mortar-like shots, but leaves you very exposed to attacks, because, you're hovering. While the Stingray can shoot through walls, but is very difficult to control. So TLDR, you can't really rely on them solely for kills anymore. Number 6, painted alone. Just like the first game, single player also returns in the form of Octo Valley. The great Zapfish is missing, again, along with Callie from the Squid Sisters. So, in response, Marie sends the player across what look like Mario Galaxy-inspired stages to find them both. The sequel version does offer to shake things up by you being able to use different weapons and with new features like grind rails to interact with, not to mention a lot of replay value by beating each stage with different weapons. However, the 6-hour mode can't shake that feeling of been there, done that, since you're essentially going through similar motions from the first title. It's really not bad, as there's some standout moments, but it isn't quite as strong as everything else in the package. Number 5, get friends, hoard salmon. The biggest new addition is Salmon Run, Nintendo's own version of Horde mode. Up to 4 players work together to fight off waves of fish-like enemies and bosses to collect golden eggs. Immediately what stands out in this mode is that at the end of each wave, everyone swaps weapons, keeping everyone on their toes and changing tactics. Plus, here you can earn weapons and gear that can be used later in the main competitive mode. This mode can get actually quite challenging, as enemies can quickly overwhelm you, but that's also what makes the mode really fun to play. However, for some reason, Nintendo has opted to arbitrarily lock out this mode so it can only be played at certain times of the week, which really makes no sense whatsoever. Hopefully this will be clarified in the future, though. Number 4, oozing style. It's difficult to ignore just how charming the world of Splatoon is. From the newest singing duo of Pearl and Marina that introduce you to the available stages whenever you boot up the game, to the various clothes you can purchase for your Inklings that also come with various perks, there's always something here that's certain to keep a smile on your face. Even something that sounds kinda mundane on paper, like posing your character with an amiibo Inkling, is undeniably cute, while the energetic soundtrack keeps the experience fun during online play. Number 3 for the pros. Ranked mode once again brings back the 3 tougher game modes from the first title. Splat zones are pretty much the same as before, where you have to keep a small highlighted square inked in your team's color for a certain period of time. Rainmaker now has the titular weapon act more like a grenade launcher with delayed blasts, making the reliance on your team to reach the goal all the more important. And finally, Tower Control now has the tower stop at checkpoints on its assigned path, which makes it easier for the opposing team to ambush the tower, leading to what is easily the most intense game mode of the bunch, and probably also our favorite of the 3. Number 2, looking to the future. Nintendo have stated that, just like the first game, there will be frequent free updates for at least a year. Details are scarce for now, but we do know that at least 2 new maps will be coming, as well as a new shotgun/umbrella weapon called the Brella. On top of that, the monthly special events known as Splatfests are making a return in all their nightlife neon-painted glory. While we obviously can't assess the content that's yet to come, if it's anything like the content that was available at launch, it certainly fills us with enough confidence. Number 1, should you get Splatoon 2? Splatoon 2 is a great follow-up for one of the Wii U's best titles. While the single-player mode doesn't quite hit its full potential, the rebalanced multiplayer and the compelling yet challenging co-op mode makes it more than worth diving into. Whether you've clocked hundreds of hours into the first game or just jumping into the series for the first time, you'll certainly have a lot of fun being a kid and a squid for many days to come. This video is sponsored by Nintendo of Canada. For more information on Splatoon 2, visit splatoon.nintendo.com.